You and I are living in an amazing time. We have access to some amazing information, amazing knowledge that just 30 years ago, people would have never imagined that you and I could have access to so much information. Want to know how to do something? What do? Google it. Oh, just as a side note, you know why Google is free? Because they're mapping the human brain. So every time you search for something, that gives them more information. So we're getting information. They're gathering information about how the human brain works, and we're getting all this information. I mean, there's nothing. Well, I'm not so sure that you could easily. Well, you might be able to. You might get in trouble. How to rob a bank and how to do things like that. But there's so much information out there that you could just about watch a video and learn how to do anything, and also learn about history and all kinds of things that you can learn. And every day it's growing more and more. So statistics show that in the year 1900, human knowledge was doubling every 100 years. By the end of World War II, knowledge was doubling every 25 years. In 2013, knowledge was doubling every 12 months. It is estimated that where we're headed, at the rate it's going, that pretty soon knowledge will be doubling every 12 hours. Imagine that. Our knowledge is increasing exponentially. And guess who knew this was going to happen? God. If we go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 4, he just says, "But you, Daniel, shut up the words." He's telling Daniel to write these things down, but then he says, "Shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase." God knew that our knowledge was going to increase. But what is, for me, is totally amazing about the fact that knowledge is increasing so much is that as knowledge is increasing, our wisdom is not keeping pace. Wisdom is not keeping pace with knowledge. Now, we need to understand what the difference is between knowledge and wisdom. We must not confuse what the world calls knowledge with wisdom. There are a lot of people out there with knowledge who are not very wise. There are people out there who are educated beyond their wisdom. Okay? They're not very wise. Knowledge is knowing information. I love this little saying here. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in fruit salad. Right? Isn't that right? Knowledge, I can know something. But wisdom is knowing what to do with it. I can know all about this. I can know that it's a phone, but, there comes a point where you sit there and you have no idea how to use it. So you ask your 10-year-old child to come and show you how to use it, right? Knowledge is knowing facts, knowing things. But wisdom is knowing what to do with the facts. If we go back to Genesis, we see this at the beginning. We see, Adam and Eve, they knew the facts. God told them, "Do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for you will die." That's a fact. Okay? They knew that. But they didn't have the wisdom. So, as it says in Genesis 3:4-7, "But the serpent said to the woman, 'You will not die.'" Okay? False knowledge, false wisdom. "For God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." You will be like God, having wisdom. But it wasn't wisdom. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one what? Wise. All right. The tree was to make someone wise. She took of the fruit and ate, and she also gave some to her husband, which was not very wise on his part, who was with her, and he ate it. They had knowledge of the apple, or not apple. They had knowledge of the fruit. We don't know if it was an apple. They had knowledge of the fruit. They know what it was, but they didn't know quite what to do with it when they get it, because it says, "Then their eyes were both were open and they knew that they were naked.